Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the architecture of empathy and interchange. We spend so much of our time looking outward, trying to figure out why the world's the way it is. But today, we're going to flip that entirely. We're going to see how looking inward is actually the true key to transforming our external reality. I'm super excited to unpack this source material with you because it gives us a really powerful, actionable framework for changing how we interact with literally everyone around us.
All right, let's anchor ourselves right away to the core paradigm-shifting philosophy of our source material today. Don't judge the world around you, let go of your ego. Now, that sounds incredibly simple on the surface, right? But just think about it. Think about how often we move through our day passing silent, snap verdicts on how other people choose to live. The author is making a really direct link here. Our constant judgment of the outside world is actually tied directly to our own ego. To truly see the world clearly, we've got to detach from that urge to evaluate everybody else.
And everyday perspective is kind of funny like that. You might look at someone dedicating their entire weekend to, painting tiny miniature figurines or spending hours learning a dead language, and you might think it's a massive waste of time. But to them, it's the most thrilling thing in the world. We walk around totally oblivious to the fact that it's a huge passion for them. Everyone's aspirations look wildly different. The beauty of this idea is that it forces us to confront our own narrow viewpoints. Just because something doesn't align with your specific path doesn't mean it's objectively senseless.
But before we even think about fixing the world, we've got to ground ourselves in gratitude. Let's look at this number, millions. This really puts everything into perspective. The source reminds us that simply having a job, just being able to provide for yourself and your family, is amazing. Why? Because there are literally millions of people out there who don't have proper work for their basic everyday survival. When we start our day acknowledging that fact, it completely shifts our baseline. We drop the entitlement and ground ourselves in a really profound sense of gratitude just for our basic stability.
So the challenge laid out for us is pretty direct. Stop judging the world around you for the way it is, and stop judging the people around you for the way they are. We have to actively, consciously break this habit. You see, when we accept that other people's paths are going to look incredibly different from ours, and when we recognize how undeniably lucky we are to just have our basic needs met, that burning need to judge, it actually starts to naturally dissolve. But to truly stop the judgment, we have to understand where it's really coming from.
And this brings us to the true villain of our daily frustrations. Spoiler alert, it's not society. It's not your neighbor who mows the lawn at 6 a.m. It's your own ego. The text gives us this incredibly practical definition of the ego. It defines it as that subconscious voice constantly questioning why people behave a certain way, all while doing absolutely no good for yourself or for anyone else. It's just a completely unproductive loop that drains your energy and totally blocks your empathy.
Let's break down what that actually looks like in practice. As we go about our day, it's like a tape playing on a loop in the background. We catch ourselves questioning why a person acts a certain way, agonizing over why the world works the way it does, and endlessly complaining about why things can't be better. Now, to be fair, wanting the world to be better isn't a bad thing. But when we subconsciously spend our days just questioning people and systems without taking any real action, when we're just stewing in our frustration, the source tells us that is literally just our ego talking. It's a trap.
So what happens when we fall into that trap? Well, we start making terrible assumptions. We automatically assume the world is careless, senseless, totally negative, and we start believing there's no better future ahead. When you catch your brain spinning up those kinds of thoughts, the directive here is crystal clear. Stop for a moment and think again. We actually have the power to interrupt that negative cognitive loop. We don't have to just accept the ego's cynical broadcast as the ultimate truth of reality. Instead of just sitting there in frustration, the source gives us a highly actionable, empathetic framework. Step 1 is simple. Do not put somebody down. Just refuse to lower your opinion of them. But then, it demands actual action. Step 2, try to bring them up. And step 3, let them know things could be better. This is exactly how we transition from being passive critics of the world to active participants in making it better. We are replacing silent judgment with genuine support.
And here is the ultimate contrast that really ties this all together. The ego defaults to assuming people are inherently thinking negatively, right? That they're just going in the wrong direction. But empathy? Empathy flips that entirely. It asks, how can we help them make different, better decisions? Instead of just assuming the worst about someone's trajectory, what if we actually let them know that things could be better in their lives? What if we guided them to choose differently? It completely reframes our interactions from being adversarial to being collaborative.
As we move into the final phase of the explainer today, the source material asks us to really slow down and look inward with a series of heavy-hitting questions. First up, is it the world around us which is bothering us, or is it who we are within ourselves? Take a second to really digest that. When you're feeling agitated, frustrated, or just angry at the state of things, how much of that unrest is actually living entirely within you? It's a massive shift in accountability.
Following that exact same thread, we have to honestly confront this next question. Is it the world that has to be changed, or is it the way we think that has to change? I mean, let's face it, it is so much easier to demand that the physical world rearrange itself to suit our preferences. It's way harder, but infinitely more effective, to realize that a radical shift in our own mindset might be exactly what we need to finally find some peace and clarity.
And that leads us right to the ultimate question of agency. Is it the world that can magically just be a better place to live in, or is it you who could make this world a better place to live in? Are we passively sitting around waiting for society to fix itself, or are we recognizing our own power here? By letting go of the ego, by stopping our endless judgments, and by actively choosing to lift others up, we actually become the architects of that better world.
To close out our explainer today, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to process as you head back out into the world. Will you stop feeling entitled and start making this a better place? It's a direct challenge to every single one of us. The architecture of empathy isn't built on entitlement or judgment. It is built on gratitude, self-reflection, and real action. Thank you so much for joining me today. I highly encourage you to ask yourself this exact question the very next time you feel the urge to judge the world around you.